A local activist, no stranger to controversy, is now running to represent you in Congress. 34-year-old Devante Hill, leader of multiple Black Lives Matter marches during the pandemic, is now running in Tennessee's newly drawn District 5 congressional seat. And of course, the new lines that were drawn, this seat runs from Memphis up to Kentucky and then over to Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, it's quite a span there, Joy. So Hill, who originally was running for District 9, told our Joe Birch she was born to be in this race.
I was supposed to do from birth up into this moment, from being exposed 10 years ago through Congressman Steve Cohen to the factions of the federal government, being under the tutelage of Congressman John Lewis, Elijah Cummings, and Sheila Jackson Lee. I knew then when I left Congressman Steve Cohen's office as an intern 10 years ago that I was destined for this time. And I believe while our voting rights is currently on the ballot, now would be the time to make my mentor, Congressman John Lewis, the most proud.
Well, you can hear Devante Hill's entire interview and the 4 other Democrats and 2 Republicans who are running for Congress in Tennessee's 5th Congressional District for the August 6th primary. It's on our website, actionnews5.com.